This super chat is from J Money. For $10, says, it is the deep state and financial elite who want immigration. Continue to ignore that as being dishonest. Elites were also initially the only ones with rights to vote, seen as how you had to be landlord. Yeah, that's true. So it is the deep state and the financial elite who want immigration. And because they have a lot to benefit from that. This is why people always like, the billionaires hate immigration. I'm like, what are you talking about? The billionaires are the ones mostly, except for Elon Musk, who's our first trillionaire. The billionaires are the ones who constantly lobby and fund organizations and efforts to import millions of foreigners into America. Why? Because they're cheap labor. They're unaccountable cheap labor. So you can just increase your profit margin. So companies love that. So it's actually the billionaires and the financial elites. So that's so true. And elites were also initially the only ones with rights to vote. Yeah, so seen as how you have to be landlord. So that's the thing though. Like every society is going to have an elite class. So it's not a matter of whether or not a society has an elite class, but whether who is that elite class. That's why communism never works. Communism tries to squash all distinctions among classes and say, oh yeah, we're going to have a classless society. And then what happens as a result? Well, you just erect a new ruling class because we are tribal, we are hierarchical by nature as humans. So it's not about what hierarchy exists, not about what elite class exists, but it's about who is in that elite class. And right now we have a disordered, dysfunctional elite class who looks out for the interests of their own multinational corporation. They look out for globalist interests. They look out for foreign interests more than the American people itself. And our elite class is not controlled by Christians. But the elite class before, traditionally in America, was white Anglo-Saxon Protestants. They were Bible-believing Christians who are faithful to the Lord, who led this country with Christian ethics. So yes, you will have an elite class, but we want our elite class to be moral and virtuous and good. So there's that whole idea of noblesse oblige, right? Where the elite class and the elites do well to those who do not have as much, because we will always be a society that is ordered with a hierarchy. So then this idea of egalitarianism, equality, it's all nonsense. So we need to get rid of the idea and understand that if we want any sort of populism, we want good traditional aristocrats in society. And I think Elon Musk is a good example of this, where he is our world's first trillionaire, but he is someone who cares about the interests and the preservation of Western civilization. So we need people like that. We will not get by with grassroots. I'm sorry. The reality is grassroots organization, it does a lot. I'm not discounting it, but the grassroots organizations has to translate into electing and creating a new elite class. For example, Charlie, he was grassroots, but he became a member of the elite of the right wing in right-wing politics. And that's how he was able to effectuate change so well. That's what we need to do. We need to think about that in the economic sector, in the public sector, in government, in corporations, in schools. We need to not just say, oh, we're going to always be grassroots and we'll stay grassroots. No, like all our grassroots efforts exist in order to get our desired elected officials into office, but also leaders who will become a new elite class to replace the dysfunctional, godless, degenerate elite class that exists today. And the elite class that exists today is, right, what? Who do we have? We have debauched millionaires. We have ghetto streamers. We have porn stars. We have, porn site owners, which are basically just pimps. We have godless technocrats. We have liberal professors and administrators who control all our educational institutions. We have godless, unelected bureaucrats in our administrative state. Like we have an elite class that hates us and hates our God. What we need to do is get new people to replace them and create a new elite class who can do well for those who are, I guess, on the lower echelons of society and, just uplift the country and do what's best for the country and the future of the country.